mindful and very demure. Looks like if we follow the line of the bottom valance, we should be okay. What's up, group? Tonio hanging out with you. Today we're going to do something else to the 4Runner. We're going to be putting on a body armor front winch bumper, beasting it out just a little bit more. This is something I wasn't going to do because I was kind of nervous about it. I have to cut the front bumper in order to put this bumper on. So let's check it out. Acorns are all over the ground now. There she is, the body armor front winch bumper. I was lucky enough, and what made me go ahead and do this is I picked this up on Facebook Marketplace for $300, guys. This is an $800 bumper all day long. Guy purchased it, never installed it on his 4Runner. He was setting his 4Runner up for overland and decided, you know what? I don't like camping. I'm not sure yet or not if I want to put that bull bar on there or just leave it off. So we're going to get to work putting this on the 4Runner right now. First thing we have to do to get this front bumper off is we've got 3 bolts here, and then over on the other side we've got 3 bolts there, and then we should have a couple underneath. We'll get this one, we'll get that one. We'll take off all those bolts going across there, these up here, and get that off and prepare to cut our stock bumper. Okay, now that we've removed all the bolts from our fender as well as our little brush guard here, I don't know if I can get this out with my finger or not. Nope. We'll get that clip out, and then we'll take this plastic piece, move it out. Next step is we've done this so many times, putting in the Raptor lights, changing to the TRD Pro grill. We'll be taking out all of these clips that you see all in here so that we can take this out, and then as well as the remaining 6 or 8 clips that is down in here holding the grill in. And then we should be able to remove our entire front bumper. So now that we have all the bolts and we've removed all the clips from down in there, we're going to go underneath. We're going to peel this back a little bit. Then we're going to unplug our fog lights. As you're pulling these, first thing you want to do is kind of lift up. You can see up and over. The first and the second screw head, maybe even the third. That's what's going to allow you to get the bumper to start peeling off. I want to take my time. For that very reason, to detach that bolt right there. That's what's holding us back. So let's get that taken care of. That's why we want to take our time taking this off. Okay, so the bolt that holds our stock bumper on here is supposedly a 14 millimeter. You may not be able to see it from here, but we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Okay, at this last bit, and hopefully you can see me, we'll kind of want to raise up on the bumper to assist you in getting your last couple screws out. Now what I've done is I've left this inside screw screwed in on the driver's side to kind of hold that side of the bumper for me while I worked on getting the bolts out of this side. Now, you may not be able to see them. I'm gonna try and show it to you once I get this screw out. But here, there's like little hangies that I believe will keep this bumper held up and safe from falling on, like my legs right here. But I still wanted to kind of hold on to it just to be on the safe side. So now I have all my bolts removed. I should be able to just lift up and pull the bumper out of there. It's kind of snagged because of how I have this screw kind of screwed in backwards. A little tip from another YouTuber to kind of hold the bumper as we put the new one on. So I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. Just gonna screw one of the screws in from the back. It's not sticking out too much, but it should be enough to help me hold the bumper, at least until I get a couple screws in it. You have a few body clips that are holding these in. Probably would have been easier to get those bolts out. How do I remove this to begin with? Picked a hot one. It's been in the 70s all week. Today we broke 80 degrees. If you haven't seen the sweat dripping off of me yet. Okay, let's get this bumper out the way. One thing for sure, two for certain. These little bolts, the way I got them hanging out of here, they're not going to hold this bumper unassisted. I'm trying to decide now what I want to do. I think we should probably go ahead and look at putting our light bar in and maybe the bull bar, but I don't know if I want the bull bar on there. That's the issue. I'm going to go ahead and look at getting our light bar installed. Okay, so we've got our light bar attached. It's pretty self-explanatory, which is why I didn't put it on video. As you see, you got brackets in here, here. This is our light bar, the bracket that came with it, which attaches right to the mounting point that's inside the bumper. The bumper does says rated for a 20-inch light bar. This is a 20-inch, yeah, it's a Elevate 20-inch spot and flood light combo. So what I liked about this is it has a amber light setting that can actually be used on the road. So a street legal amber light setting along with the spot and floodlight. I paid like 89 bucks for this at Walmart. A lot of people had the same question I do. Would a 22-inch light bar work in here? I actually believe, looking at it in here, if you don't mind your light bar going over, I would definitely say you could get a 22-inch light bar in here, if not a 24-inch light bar. Goes to show you, where there's a will, there's a way. Okay, we took a quick break and moved to the other side of the house. It did make it take a little longer for me to get all the bolts and stuff in because I was working in the combined space inside of here. We don't have anything wired up yet, but you can see it's our positive and our negative for the winch, and then our cable for our light bar. All of that's flowing up through and into the battery cage. I closed the hood because we ran out to the store real quick. But now everything is in there. We don't have the fair lead on there because I'm not putting the wire cable fair lead. We're going to replace that with a synthetic rope. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up a synthetic rope fair lead and put on there. So now comes the scary part, and that's cutting up our stock bumper. So let's get to it. Okay, so here we are. We're looking at the back side of our stock bumper. We're going to grab our instructions, do the measuring we need to do, and cut this bumper. It's my understanding we're pretty much going to cut right along this line and somewhere right across the bottom of this. I kind of feel like we could literally just follow the outline of our bottom black valance on this. Okay, so now we're at the point of no return. We either get this right or we mess it up for life. We're going to take the Dremel. I've kind of measured out the way the instructions say to measure, but it looks like if we follow the line of the bottom valance, we should be okay. So that's what I'm going to do. Hope for the best. Point of no return. We're going to start cutting into the factory bumper. This is the part of this whole job I dreaded the most. Oh man, of course. I've got to get this from the other side. There's no way to get the tool down. My goodness. So I guess we're going to have to go with my measurements. I'm telling you, this Dremel, it cuts through this like a butter knife through warm butter. Okay. So again, we cut up to where we made our curve. Where we need to make that curve, I really want to flip this over, and that's where we're going to follow, if we can, the line of the valance. I'm wanting to do it this way in hopes that I get the curve a lot better. I did a lot better job coming around the corner on that side than I did on this side. Point of no return. Okay, so at this point, we'll let this kind of cool off. We'll scrape off the edges. Let me find some kind of file or something, and pray we got this right. Okay, so we got our cuts cleaned up. I did a dry fit. Seems everything fits perfectly. It'll be sad if it don't, because we now got this weather stripping or molding, whatever you want to call it. It's all put on there. Looking really, really good. So at this point, time to get this back on the vehicle. So first, we need to get our fog lights plugged back up here. So. It's demure.
It's mindful.
Mindful. And very demure.
He put a hitch.
That's not a hitch.
Sorry. He took off the bumper.
It's a bumper.
The front bumper, and he put in a lighted winch.
That's a light bar.
A light bar with a winch.
And then it has a winch. So it pretty much looks like the same front end.
Yes, it does. You did good, honey.
I told you. It's very demure and mindful. But we run out of daylight. So we'll be back tomorrow to finish the job up. Okay, so day 2. I realized we forgot to cut this insert here. We needed to cut it off down here at the bottom. Bright sun right now, so I don't know if you can tell. We need to cut it off at the bottom. We did the same thing on this one. You can see we cut, but saved the little bracket there on the bottom. Okay, so we now have the plastic on that side put in. You can kind of see where the light's coming through down there at the bottom. That would have been in the way, or it would have been touching the bumper. I may have cut off just a little bit too much, but that's going to keep most of the road grime and stuff out anyway. Our winch wires, our light bar wires, they all kind of run back and up through there. This is the light bar wire mixed with our Raptor light wires, which are up on there. There's the clip I had to make because I broke one of those, or one of those broke because the wire was too short. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. But the wires do run through there. Hook in was able to use my factory. Our cutoff sits right back there, and our temporary switch location is there. And we just have our control box zip tied to our extra wiring and to the factory wiring harness back in there. Got the Badlands winch. We got the Badlands winch fair lead. I know, before you tell me, I have a metal rope on a synthetic rope fair lead. I'm going to switch that out. I just didn't want to pay $125 for a synthetic rope right now, and I don't plan on using this anytime soon. So before you even mention it, that's why we're doing this. God, let's tear my arms up. This would have been so much easier if we'd have remembered to do this. Well, I didn't have the fair lead yesterday, and I wanted to go ahead and get the bumper on, so that's why we didn't do these things. We got some other goodies for the winch. Okay, so one last thing before we button everything up, we'll go ahead and we'll try out our winch. Make sure it works. Okay, we'll turn the power on. Yeah, baby. Disconnect switch functioning properly. Hopefully this is the last time we put this back on here today. Okay, so what we did there was cut us out a small little access hole so we can get down there and plug in our winch and operate the free spool and all of that. I'm gonna go ahead and finish cleaning that up, and then we'll put our body clips back in and we'll be done with this part. This job is now complete. This is the way it would look if you were looking at it in the parking lot, I would imagine. Now we'll go ahead and get close up here. So that is the scene. Right here, I kind of messed up my weather stripping because when I was putting the front bumper on, I didn't realize I actually had this part of the fender under the bumper. You can see I also kind of scuffed my bumper a little bit right here, or right there. That's where it hit the bumper as well. But had it not been for me doing that, I just didn't notice it going behind there until after I got everything installed, and I noticed it was kind of crooked. So I spent time trying to adjust the bumper in the motion that it'll go back and forth, and I just wasn't getting it. And then I finally noticed that it was under there. It turned out to be a nice fit. Also, what I ended up doing is literally, you can kind of see it in this corner here, again where I messed up at. This is also where I didn't come up quite far enough, I believe, with my cut. Basically, I followed the outline of my bottom valance. But by following the valance, I think it gives you the perfect cutout. As you see, I have no complaints about that cutout whatsoever. So we installed the Elevate light bar. So this light bar has 3 modes. As you can see, the light bar says DOT, if I can get it to focus in there. DOT approved light bar. It has a side marker mode, which is amber light. That's this strip that you can see across there. It'll light up amber. We've got it hooked up with our Raptor lights. It's running on the same power and fuse as our Raptor lights. So it basically comes on with the vehicle like daytime running lights, whether we have our running lights turned on or not. We went with the Badlands 9,500 pound winch. You can see it down in there behind the grill. So I told you at the beginning of the video, I just had to go with this bumper. Go ahead and cut it out because I thought this was a deal I couldn't refuse. Got it for 300 bucks off Facebook Marketplace. The only real scuff is some paint right there. I feel like if I got a magic eraser or something, I could get that out. But God never installed it. A little scuff there, but I mean, come on. It's a winch bumper. We'll check out why I think this light bar is so cool. So we'll use our new remote start to do this. This is our StartX remote start. It actually works just like the factory remote start, meaning that I press the lock button 3 times and our remote start takes over. So there she is. Again, that's our daytime running light mode on that light bar. I'll go ahead and give you a close-up of it. Until we get our OEM switch, we have to go under the hood right now to turn the light bar on. I could keep it on all the time. This is the switch for now. Let's skip ahead in time for a minute and you'll see that we got our switch in now. So the way that I have this wired up so far, since our light bar is direct wired to the battery, it does not require the ignition power or key power to use the light bar. I've got it where it illuminates blue only when it's in operation. So that means if you see this lit up, that means your light bar is on. But still yet, we use the remote to be able to switch in between the off-road and on-road. And the spotlights, I don't have anything hooked up to it right now. So even if you turn it on, you'll notice it doesn't illuminate. But that's our switch. I could keep it on all the time because the Elevate setup that we have also comes with a remote. This remote allows us to switch our modes. So if we hit on again, we go into the off-road mode. So this is not street legal. This mode is street legal for auxiliary lights. Then we have a couple different flash modes. And then of course off, and we're back to our daytime running light. Once we get our switch, we'll actually be able to turn the light on from in the car. And the switch, it'll allow us to hook up our different modes. So we have one switch for the highway mode, and then another switch for the off-road mode. And then, of course, again, the daytime running light, or the park light mode, or marker light mode. We keep that running as a daytime running light feature. I'll put all the items down in the comments, but altogether, this whole setup, in my opinion, cost us less than that bumper by itself. This one took a little while, made me sweat, even more than when we did the wheel spacers to get that wider stance. But until next time, I am Tony O. Peace.